it's MK, and I am here with another Kit Conspiracy layout with you guys today, and I am continuing on with our Rust and Revs collection from 49 and Market. I am going to be doing more photos of the shop rebuild, or build, not rebuild, and I've picked out a couple of the wordy bits from the die cut collection, or die cut pack. I've also picked out these almost like hinges, leather looking hinges. And then I've got a fussy cut out little frame that I'm going to put the road closed on. I have some flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. One is an epoxy flare that I want to use, and the other one is a canvas flare. I also punched out these gears from one of the packaging that I plan on using on this layout, another die cut piece, and then the epoxy stickers that I will be adding to my layout kind of at the end. I have my yellow chevron as well as this flashing piece of paper that I was going to use last layout, but I decided to bring it in this layout. And then I'm still on the fence of whether or not I'm going to use this rust piece of paper. I don't think I am, but I've got it in I've got it handy just in case I do end up using it. So I'm going to cut the branding strips off, and then I'm going to take this flashing and cut it up where the pieces are divided on the paper is what I plan on doing with this. So I know that these layouts are going to be a little bit redundant because they are of the same thing, but I do like challenging myself to make each layout a little different. I do end up, like I said, I wanted to document this because it took forever for this shop to finally be finished. We started, I want to say, in September, and we did not finish until like March of the next year. So it took forever. The snow fell, and then, of course, it got too dangerous for everybody to start working. So here's where I switch out that copper piece for a basic gray piece of paper. I think this was called, oh my gosh, I want to say it was Mortified. I don't remember, you guys. I picked this up at a give take table 2 years ago. I want to say 2 years ago at a retreat. So that's I'm almost done using up these papers, but I did end up picking up about 2 or 3 of the same piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and use that same stencil, and I wanted to just throw in a little diagonal design. By the time that I am done putting the layout together, if I'm being honest, you're not even going to see the fact that I put that little stencil down. So it's okay. I went ahead and I cut out the branding strips from that ledger print in the back, so I could just use the little images. And then I'm going to cover up the part of our construction sign that has like the information, phone number, things like that. I don't need it in, in my documentation. So I thought it would be okay. I do still have the picture in case I do need to reference his phone number, but for my layouts, I did not need any of that. So it's Legion Construction, Unpredictable Adventure, because this was definitely unpredictable. The weather here is always unpredictable, so you never know what you're going to get when you start on a project. Even if it's in the middle of the summer, you could still be called off the project and it sit for a couple months until the weather is better. So I just thought it was a good title. I also wanted to use this road closed sign because we have a arched driveway, 2 entrances to our driveway, and we had to completely shut off one of the entrances for how large this project was. All the materials, no matter how we wanted to keep it organized and keep it off and in the backyard. So the association, because we live in an HOA, we didn't want the association to complain about our garbage hanging around and things like that. So it was definitely challenging for the several months that some of the stuff just sat around and whatnot. So this is the morning of our first cement load. And I know I talked about the cement last time because that was actually the pouring process and how it works and whatnot. And because of such a large surface being poured, they had to do it in increments because then they had to smooth it all out and whatnot. And if you pour the whole thing, then they can't smooth out the center. So they had to smooth out sections of the cement and cut it into it so that when the floor cracks, it cracks where they want it to, as opposed to one giant slab and then it just cracks all over the place. So I really do feel like these cement guys do a great job. I've always loved their work, and they're very efficient and everything. It wasn't the cement work that we had problems with. It was the weather for sure. But yes, we had the guys come in and do all the dirt work before they did all this. A bunch of guys came in and dug the post holes, and laid down the posts, and then mixed the cement for those so that way they could get put in and then dried. And that was several days ago before this event. So yeah, this is kind of just like a title page into the mess that comes type of thing. So yeah, I just really wanted to, have an intro page, I guess. And this was absolutely perfect because all of the, most of the building material is in our yard. Most of, the framework is getting ready to go up for the pour, and everything. We had to put up a temporary fence for our puppies. It was insane. They knocked down the fence while we were at work. So, it just one thing after another. It was great. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up the word adventure and unpredictable onto this, so that way it just gives it a little bit of lift and dimension. The layout was looking very flat. I went ahead and I put those, what are they called? Hinge looking things, the leather pieces that look like hinges. I went ahead and I put those up on the ends of both of my flashing strips, just so that way it gave it a little bit of interest. I'm working on the diagonal when it comes to this design. I do move one of my designs a little over into the dead space in my upper photo instead of all the way to the right, because then I felt like it didn't have a belonging or an attachment to the rest of the layout if I were to put it right over underneath that upper hinge, if that makes any sense. So one thing about these epoxy flare is that you do not want to use any liquid adhesive to attach them. So I just used a glue dot. And then I'm going to finish off this layout with these epoxies. And I almost forget about these little gears that I fussy cut out. Well, I didn't fussy cut. I used a circle punch, which was perfect. And then I decided to fill in a couple gaps with these rub-ons. So I just thought that they were the perfect size to go next to each of my photos on the little, gaps that I created because I didn't stack my photos straight up and down. So I always lay down these rub-ons, and I almost always forget to actually rub them on until I'm attaching things. And in another video, I actually lay a rub-on down, and then I ruin a rub-on by putting it over the plastic part. And so I rubbed it on top of the plastic part. So yeah, it's go me. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish off by scattering these gears all over the place. Not that gears have anything to do with this specific layout, but I felt like that they were a good filler for, just for an embellishment of sorts. I really do like how they bring movement into the layout, especially the fact that, they're wheels and whatnot. And so I just really liked that. I am reinforcing my epoxies down with some adhesive just because I put one of them on top of a roughed up edge, and so I wanted to make sure that it actually stayed on the layout. Now I'm just checking my supplies to see if there was anything else I wanted to add, and I think I am all done. I love the Into the Unknown because it seemed like the project was going smooth and nice and great, and then all of a sudden it's like, turn the next page to see what happens next. Not that anything bad happened during this process. It just kept taking forever. It's like the wrong screws were ordered, and just all sorts of stuff was happening in this project. All right, you guys, so that is my layout for today. Please be sure to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is my partner in crime when it comes to Kit Conspiracy. She is Galaxy Girls Creation here on YouTube, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.